Okay, so my talk is getting requirements right, which is something that obviously is important for all of us in IT projects. I'm Dave Humm. I've been working in IT for over 20 years now, with about 4.5 years doing Salesforce projects recently. So, and my Twitter handle is at Dave_Humm, as there on the screen. Right, so why does it matter getting the requirements right? So if you get a poor requirement, you get an unsuccessful project. You're going to end up, basically you're going to fail. You won't deliver any benefits to the business. If you're a consultancy, you're going to end up with your reputation damaged. And as a freelancer, obviously, that's even probably even more important for me than it is for the consultancy firms, because you obviously live and die on the fact that people know you can deliver. So what makes a bad requirement? It's unclear. It's, something like, oh, we want to increase our sales by 20% by implementing Salesforce. Well, yeah, that's a goal, but that's not an actual requirement. Too generic. So again, my example there was, a real case of it's just too generic. You can't actually prove it, because the requirement needs to be something where you can actually say, yes, we've achieved that, particularly in a commercial sector where it's like if you've actually signed up to do a project, particularly a project where the client is saying, oh, here's our list of requirements, you've got to be able to turn around and say, yes, we can tick the box and say, yes, we've done that. Where the requirement actually tries to solve the problem rather than actually stating what the problem is. So that's something like saying, oh, our requirement is that we're going to have a workflow that will update the case status after 30 days if there's no action on it. That's not a requirement, that's a solution. And you don't want a requirement that actually tells you how you're going to fix it. That's something else, that's design. Right, so a good requirement. It's got main 5 real qualities to it. There are other ones that you can add in, but one of the main things is clear. So it's not stated in any kind of jargon. It's actually written in clear English. It's unambiguous, so it's actually clear exactly what it means. It's a discrete requirement. It doesn't say, oh, requirement number 1 says this, and therefore requirement number 2 is we're going to do this off this. It's testable. You can actually literally write a test case from that requirement. And also the key bit is it's got an owner in the business, and that often means with the requirement, particularly if you're writing a user story, it's as a customer or as a customer service representative or so on, you can actually say, okay, somebody within that business clearly owns that and clearly knows what that means. So an example of, say, a good requirement would be something like, as a customer services rep, I need to be able to see all my cases that are open and in order of priority. Right, how to get to the good requirement? This is obviously mainly something that tends to be more if you're in the BA or consultant end of an organisation. Key things are, you'll never get them all at once. You can have these endless workshops, but it's rare that you're going to get it all in 1 day or 2 days or whatever. There's always going to be things coming up, and that's one of the reasons for using agile projects, is the fact that you're catching the fact the requirements aren't always going to be there. Challenge them. Ask, why do you actually need this? What does this mean? So the business actually has to think. It's not just standing there saying, oh yeah, we need this, because it's easy to say, yes, we want this, we want that, but if it really comes down to it, what do you need to do? Can it be proven to be met? That comes back to that point that I keep hammering home about testability. If you can't test it, if you can't prove it, then it's not a good requirement. The next bit is obviously managing change, the fact that you have to deal with the fact that things will change. Business doesn't sit in this world of where things never change around you. Your business is moving, the world's moving, your competitors are moving. And that's something that having done projects back in the old waterfall days where it'd be like we'd spend months doing this huge requirements document and then often sending it off to a firm offshore or something with a fixed set of requirements on a fixed price contract, and then suddenly you get into testing and it's like, well, this is all fine then, but to be honest, we're now in the world of living in endless CRs, and it's much better to do it in an agile way where you can actually manage that change. You can keep moving the requirements, you can deal with the change of the priorities, but you can also drop things and bring new things in. Right, so to sum it up, so to really deliver a successful project, you need good requirements. You need to get it right by asking the questions to make sure those requirements are actually good. And that means basically, let's go to, has anyone got any questions from what I've said so far? Jodie?
Do you ever go back and tie the requirements to capabilities so that way you can prove out the business value of them and you don't get that revolt of the tier 9s? Because you're changing something and you change the process and...
Yes, yeah, because it's often important to understand both the process as well as the requirements, because one of the worst things is when you just get a list of, here's a set of stories and there's no processes, or you just get process. I mean, it's not so bad the other way around, because if you've got processes you can create requirements from them, but if you just got this, oh, here's a list of stories, it's like, yeah, okay, well, that's all tied together, because a lot of the time they don't necessarily tie together all that well.